child embodies our ultimate vision, that every Filipino learner will realize their full potential and ultimately reach their biggest dreams, no matter how high, no matter how hard, through quality education. And as our learners aim to soar, we must continue to elevate our goals. Rising, the kite is our emblem of aspiration to deliver the brand of quality in Philippine basic education. The quadrants of the soaring kite symbolize the key reform areas in forwarding this cause, as we embark on this aggressive reform to yield upskilled teachers, well-developed curriculum, improved learning environment, and responsive multi-stakeholder cooperation. Using the colors of our flag, the logo symbolizes our unity and serves as a reminder that it takes a nation to educate a child. Together, we as a nation will have to move forward and gain more momentum so that our vision of quality basic education for all shall take flight. Sama-sama sa pagsulong ng edukalidad.
Well, hello, Mrs. Morgan. Remember how hard it was to get your students' attention? Oh, Mr. Jeski. Any explosive ideas? And you, Mr. Fisher, the world keeps turning, right? Okay, we're past all that, because now we have Microsoft Educator Center. Trainings, courses, webinars, programs, badges, points, certificates. Join now and get yourself ready for the new school year. Teach your best.
Nang sumiklab ang giyera sa Marawi, maraming buhay at kabuhayan ang nawala. Maraming kabahayan at paaralan ang napinsala. Sa kabila ng matinding suliranin, naging matagumpay ang DepEd na mabigyan ang mga mag-aaral ng pagkakataong ipagpatuloy ang edukasyon at muling bumangon sa sitwasyon. Habang naghihintay sa pagkumpuni at pagsasaayos ng mga paaralan, nagkaloob ang DepEd ng mga temporary learning shelters, remedial classes, learning kits, at feeding programs para sa mga displaced learners. Nabigla ang lahat sa pag-alboruto ng Bulkang Taal. Libo-libong pamilya, kabilang ang mga guro at mag-aaral, ang nawalan ng tirahan at mga ari-arian. Mabilis ang naging tugon ng DepEd upang makapagpatuloy sa pag-aaral ang mga apektadong mag-aaral. Sinikap ng mga guro na turuan ang mga mag-aaral na pansamantalang tumuloy sa evacuation center. Tumama sa bansa ang COVID-19 pandemic, dahilan upang maantala ang normal na daloy ng pamumuhay at trabaho sa lahat ng sektor, kabilang na ang kagawaran ng edukasyon. Nang ipatupad ang Luzon lockdown, inilunsad ang DepEd Commons upang tuloy ang pagkatuto ng mga learners habang nasa bahay. Sa kabila ng mabigat na hamon sa ilalim ng new normal, patuloy na nagpunyagi ang DepEd upang maghanap at maghatid ng mga alternatibong pamamaraan upang magpatuloy ang edukasyon sa pinakaligtas at pinakaangkop na paraan. Sa ilalim ng Learning Continuity Plan, layunin ng DepEd na magpatuloy ang edukasyon nang hindi nakokompromiso ang kapakanan at kalusugan ng mga guro at mag-aaral. Isusulong ng DepEd ang tatlong pangunahing layunin: angkop na proteksyon, kaugnay ng mga health standards at safety protocols para sa ligtas na school year, patuloy na edukasyon sa pamamagitan ng blended learning, distance learning at homeschooling na angkop sa kapasidad ng bawat mag-aaral, at mabisang aksyon sa pakikipagtulungan sa lokal na pamahalaan at mga partner organizations upang maihatid ang dekalidad na edukasyon para sa lahat. Bawat DepEd Division ay bumuo rin ng sarili nilang Learning Continuity Plan upang gabayan ang mga guro, mga magulang at mga mag-aaral sa bagong pamamaraan ng pag-aaral gamit ang online, modular at TV and radio-based instructions. Gamit ang iba't ibang learning modalities, nagdaos ng dry run ang mga paaralan sa iba't ibang bahagi ng bansa, katuwang ang mga local government units at mga education partners upang maging handa sa bagong sistema ng edukasyon. Isinagawa rin ang mga pagsasanay at oryentasyon sa mga magulang upang maging epektibong katuwang sa pag-aaral ng kanilang mga anak. Sa anumang hamon o sitwasyon, handa ang DepEd. Handang kumilos, handang tumugon, at handang magserbisyo.
Ang dami ng mga pagsusubok at challenges ang naharap at napagtagumpayan ng ating Department of Education. Tuwing may pagsusubok, priority palagi natin ang ating learners at ang ating mga teachers sa tulong ng parents at saka partners at ang buong bansa. Ngayon, sa hinaharap natin itong new normal na sinasabi nila, matatag ang ating kagawaran, matatag ang DepEd dahil pinagtibay na tayo ng panahon. Kayang-kaya natin ito sa tulong ninyo.
G'day everyone, I'm Mark. As a teacher and a former principal, I know that professional learning often comes at the end of a very long day. But there are exciting, less structured ways to be in the driver's seat of your own lifelong learning. A great place to start is by engaging with our Microsoft Innovative Educator, or MIE community. This global community is big, in fact it's enormous. Our MIEs love connecting. Monthly tweet meets are global gatherings of inspiring educators around big topics, and their Facebook group acts as a persistent home for discussions and shared activities. Another way teachers are learning within communities is through Microsoft Teams. Now, greater teacher collaboration improves teaching across schools, and Teams is the ultimate platform for a professional learning community. It's open-walled and socially embedded, so you can incorporate your OneNote Staff Notebook PLC and have access to all the goodness of video chat, phone, and collaboration tools. With Immersive Reader built in, it's inclusive and accessible on any device. Your learning community is just a click away. Last tip, our Microsoft Education Centre offers great ways to gain new skills with courses tailored uniquely to your needs. Make it a collaborative experience by picking a MEC course to do together with your peers. And as a bonus, you can practice collaborative learning by exploring a research paper like the Class of 2030 and treat it just like a book club with your colleagues face-to-face or in Teams. The link to that research, it's in the description. Remember, learning is socially embedded. It's best done together for students and for teachers. Happy learning.
2020 brought new beginnings for the Department of Education. Ready to pivot towards attaining quality education, DepEd was hopeful of the challenges ahead of it. But as DepEd continued to work on its commitment, the world suddenly faced a steeper dilemma. Around the globe, countries like the Philippines had to shift their priorities to respond to a public health crisis brought by COVID-19. Schools had to be closed, activities had to be halted, graduation ceremonies had to be canceled, as people were urged to stay at home. A new normal dawned upon us. As soon as DepEd realized the impact of these disruptions in education, it began to proactively craft its learning continuity plan last April to ensure that learning opportunities will still be available. Consulting with partners and advisors through the Education Forum, as well as legislators, teachers, parents, learners, and the general public, DepEd made sure its LCP encompasses the concerns of the whole education sector in responding to the crisis. Its topmost priority being the protection of the health, safety, and well-being of learners, teachers, and personnel. To make informed decisions, DepEd first analyzed relevant data and epidemiological picture for the incoming school year. DepEd also issued guidelines on its required health standards to be adopted in all public and private schools and DepEd offices following DOH and IATF protocols. It covers 4 COVID-19 mitigation objectives, namely, to increase physical and mental resilience, reduce transmission, reduce contact, and reduce duration of infection. The LCP also outlined how learning continuity will be ensured. It streamlines the K-12 curriculum into the most essential learning competencies and allows the use of distance learning, homeschooling, and blended learning modalities. Since conducting face-to-face classes will be a risk in most areas, DepEd has anchored its delivery of education to modular, online, TV and radio, or a combination of all. Guided by teachers, modular learning will allow learners to use self-learning modules in a format applicable to learners' capacity. In online distance learning, teachers will facilitate and engage learners' participation through the internet, whether synchronous or asynchronous. TV and radio-based instructions, on the other hand, are converted lessons fit for the broadcast medium. The LCP assures that all our learners, including our SPED, ALS, Madrasa students, can still access education even within the confines of their homes, and ensures that their household capacity will not hinder their right to education. To make this possible, our joint Brigada Eskwela and Oplan Balik Eskwela is assisting the preparations for the rollout of the LCP. On May 8, the LCP was approved by the IATF. The President also gave it his full support and expressed his commitment to meeting the financial demands of its execution. The implementation of the LCP will not be easy. It is not a perfect plan, and complications can be expected along the way. But extraordinary times call for extraordinary and proactive measures, and the Department of Education is ready to address the challenges along the way with the help of our national and local government, partners, parents, and learners. As one nation, learning opportunities shall be available in this brave new world for our Filipino children.
When you need the focus to be on you and not whatever that guy's doing, open Teams.
subukan mo! Tutal nawasak na naman namin ang lahat ng ari-arian nyo!
Sa totoong buhay, totoo ang pinsala ng giyera. Mula noon hanggang ngayon. Para limitahan ang kalupitan ng giyera, nagkaisa ang mga bansa 70 taon na ang nakalipas upang itaguyod ang Geneva Conventions. Ang Geneva Conventions ay kinikilala ng buong mundo bilang bahagi ng international humanitarian law na nagtatakda ng mga patakaran ng giyera o the rules of war. Ayon dito, huwag gawing target ang mga sibilyan at kanilang mga ari-arian. Tratuhin sa makataong paraan ang mga nabilanggo at protektahan ng mga doktor, nurse at mga ospital para paglingkuran ang mga sugatan at may sakit saan man panig sila nagmula. Alamin ang Geneva Conventions. Bisitahin ang www.therulesofwar.org.
Hi guys! So I just came from a meeting and I was just told that I would be leading this fundraising concert for International Students Day. And I have to present the plan to the school board next week. Okay, I'm going to need some help. Let me create a team space and invite my dream team. Sia, she knows all about the budgeting and stuff. Ivan, he knows all the kids from the performing arts group. Aisha, she worked on getting sponsorship last year. And Sam, because he's so cute. Let me lay out all tasks in Planner and kick things off. So, I'm almost done with my event concept and inspiration board. I just need Ivan to do some final tweaks and plug in the repertoire. Budget from Sia? Check. Sponsorship plan? Check. Done! Whew! When you start using Microsoft Teams, teamwork really does become easier. So now I'm heading over to present the plan to the school board. Wish me luck!
De Luna,
Present!
Herrera,
Present!
Valera.
Present!
Handa ba tayo sa school year 2020?
Present!
Ngayong taon, ang edukasyon tuloy pa rin. Sa tulong ng DepEd, mga guro at mga magulang, ang handang isip, handa bukas. Tuloy-tuloy ang pag-aaral. May mga modules para sa iba't ibang antas. Sa government TV, maging sa radyo. Mahalagang ligtas ang ating mga estudyante at guro. Kaya kahit nasa bahay, tuloy ang edukasyon. Kung tulong-tulong, may paraan, may aralan.
Handang isip, handa bukas.
Bisitahin ang DepEd Philippines sa Facebook at ang deped.gov.ph.
If you spend more time tracking down files than actually working on them, open Teams.
Handa ka na bang magpabakuna? Narito ang mga paalala at hakbang na gagawin sa proseso ng pagbabakuna. Bago ang pagbabakuna, kinakailangan mo nang dumaan sa pre-vaccination screening. Kinakailangan kumuha muna ng medical clearance sa doktor ang mga kabilang sa special population tulad ng mga sumusunod. May autoimmune disease, may cancer, may HIV, sumasailalim sa transplant operation, kasalukuyang umiinom ng steroids, mga pasyenteng may taning na ang buhay dahil sa karamdaman o nakaratay na lang sa kama o bahay. Kapag ikaw ay nabigyan na ng medical clearance mula sa iyong doktor, narito ang mga dapat gawin bago ang araw ng iyong pagbabakuna. 1. Humingi ng schedule at lugar kung saan ka magpapabakuna sa iyong pinakamalapit na barangay health center. 2. Huwag kalimutan dali ng iyong government ID, proof of comorbidity o medical clearance, pati na ang face mask, face shield at hand sanitizer. Sa araw ng pagbabakuna, narito ang mga steps na dapat sundin. Step 1. Waiting area. Siguraduhin kayo ay pumunta sa tamang oras at petsa ng inyong schedule sa pagbabakuna. Hindi papayagan ang mga walk-in sa vaccination sites. Maupo sa bakanting upuan alinsunod sa tamang pagkakasunod na bilang. Hintayin na tawagin kayo para sa susunod na hakbang. Habang nag-aantay, sumunod sa minimum public health standards. Isuot ang face mask at face shield, sundin ang proper physical distancing at ugaliing maghugas at isanitize ang kamay. Step 2. Registration. Sundin ang mga patakaran ng inyong LGU o vaccination site sa pag-register at ipakita ang inyong government ID. Bibigyan kayo ng kopya ng informed consent form, health screening form at mga pamphlet tungkol sa bakuna na pwede ninyong basahin. Hintayin na matapos ang proseso ng registration bago pumunta sa susunod na hakbang. Step 3. Screening. Kayo ay isa sa ilalim sa health screening at tatanungin tungkol sa inyong kalusugan tulad ng history of COVID-19 exposure, history of vaccination, mga gamot na iniinom, kung may allergies at iba pa. Ito ay para makasiguro kung angkop para sa inyo ang magpabakuna sa kasalukuyan. Step 4. Health education. Makinig sa ibabahaging importanteng impormasyon tungkol sa pagbabakuna para sa COVID-19. Kung mayroon pa kayong ibang katanungan, sumangguni sa ating mga vaccination staff. Siguraduhin na pirmahan ang consent form na pumapayag kayong magpabakuna bago pumunta sa susunod na hakbang. Step 5. Vaccine administration. Ito ang panahon kung saan kayo ay babakunahan sa loob ng 1 o 2 minuto. Huwag kalimutan na kunin ang inyong vaccination card pagkatapos matanggap ang bakuna. Step 6. Observation. Alinsunod sa Department of Health, ang lahat na magpapabakuna ay kailangan manatili sa pasilidad ng 15 hanggang 30 minuto para obserbahan kung may hindi magandang nararamdaman. Ang ating medical staff ay nakatutok sa inyo para ma-monitor ang inyong kalusugan. Bibigyan kayo ng mga pangalan ng health facility o hotline kung saan pwedeng pumunta kung kinakailangan sumangguni dahil sa side effects ng bakuna. Pagkatapos ng pagbabakuna, huwag kalimutang gawin ang mga sumusunod. 1. Itanong ang mga nais mong malaman tungkol sa vaccine na binigay sa'yo. 2. Huwag kalimutan ang iyong vaccination card. 3. Alamin ang petsa ng second dose ng iyong pagbabakuna. 4. Kunin ang contact number o alamin kung sino ang dapat tawagan kung sakali mang ikaw ay nakadarama ng seryosong side effects. Narito rin ang ibang mga paalala na dapat tandaan. Siguraduhin bumalik sa schedule para sa pangalawang dose ng bakuna. Laging tatandaan na kahit nabakunahan ka na, ay huwag pa rin kalimutan sumunod sa minimum public health standards tulad ng pagsasanitize ng mga kamay, pagsusuot ng face mask at face shield, at pagdistansya sa iba ng 1 metro. Magmask, hugas, iwas, airflow. Ito ay para na rin sa ating proteksyon at sa proteksyon ng iba. Narito ang pagkakasunod-sunod ng mga eligible population na target mabakunahan. Para sa karagdagang impormasyon, bisitahin ang mga sumusunod na pages. Facebook, Official DOH Gov. Twitter, @DOHGovPH. Website, doh.gov.ph. Tara na sa Bida Vaccination!
The COVID-19 pandemic has brought unprecedented changes to our usual ways of living. But the Department of Education remains unfazed by these challenges to fulfill the mission of Sulong Edukalidad, the rallying call for national effort to deliver quality basic education to all Filipinos, which involve aggressive reforms in the 4 key areas: the K-12 curriculum review and update, improving the learning environment, teachers upskilling and reskilling, engagement of stakeholders for support and collaboration to move forward together as we prepare the education system for the future. The call for Sulong Edukalidad will continue, and we have built the framework of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan, or the BELCP, to put the needs of the learners at top priority. DepEd's BELCP is the major response and commitment to protect the health, safety, and well-being of learners, teachers, and personnel. The plan aims to provide opportunities to continue education even in these trying times with a BELCP in place, supported by an unprecedented number of diverse stakeholders from the academe, media, industry groups, NGOs, business and private individuals. Sulong Edukalidad will be able to sustain the aims in its reform for quality basic education. In our journey towards quality education, we have established the 4 pillars of aggressive reforms from the start, and we have been continuing to progress in these pillars. In improving the learning environment, we took action in the construction and rehabilitation of school buildings, ensured the availability of learning materials and equipment, and prioritized our last mile schools. The challenges of the pandemic also brought to light the urgent need to upgrade our ICT infrastructure to service the needs of education. In terms of the teachers' upskilling and reskilling, we were able to establish more innovative professional standards for teachers and school heads. We have aligned the professional development of teachers with their career progression to track their development as part of the National Educators Academy of the Philippines transformation. With the launch of the Education Futures program, where we will be focusing on innovative actions and solutions to improve the state of our education, we are now more than ready to start a new journey and continue our fight for quality education for all Filipino learners. Finally, we've given high importance to the engagement of stakeholders for support and collaboration. In support of this, we have convened the Philippine Forum for Accessible Quality Basic Education, or the Education Forum, which will leverage other partnerships for education quality and strengthen partnership with the Philippine Normal University as the country's national center for teacher education. The department has also been developing a professional development program for teachers and school leaders in order to equip them with the skills, materials, and data that will allow them to help their students prepare for PISA 2022. This intervention consists of the following components: online training for teachers and school leaders, development of learning materials and practice tests for students, deepening the analysis of the PISA 2018 results, and supporting school-level action research. Now that the year is about to end, our commitment to Sulong Edukalidad will continue and will be far from being gone. With a lot at stake, considering our new knowledge and experience from this year's challenges, we are equipped to face a new future. As we head on to the future where we will face many challenges and uncertainties, the department will always be the guardian of every Filipino learner's right to education.
Sino ba ang hindi naapektuhan? Sino ba ang hindi nag-alala? Sino ba ang hindi nalito? Lahat tayo ay naapektuhan. Lahat tayo ay nag-aalala. Lahat tayo ay nalito. Dahil binago ng pandemyang dulot ng COVID-19 ang paraan ng pamumuhay ng lahat ng mga Pilipino saan mang sektor ka nabibilang. Tumigil ang panandalian ang ating mga nakagawian. Tumigil ang lahat ng uri ng transaksyon. Tumigil ang lahat ng operasyon ng mga paaralan. Nakalilito. Nakakaba. Paano na ang kinabukasan ng mga kabataan? Paano na tayo sa hinaharap? Opisyal na nilulunsad ng Kagawaran ng Edukasyon Sa pangunguna ng Office of the Undersecretary for Curriculum and Instruction, ang DepEd Teaches. Ito ay isang online na programa na gagabay sa mga guro, tagapangasiwa, magulang at mag-aaral hinggil sa mga pagbabago sa batayang edukasyon ngayong new normal. Ang DepEd Teaches ay angkla sa sulong edukalidad na nakatuon sa 4 na pangunahing pangangailangan ng mapunyaging reforma tungo sa makalidad na pagtuturo at pagkatuto. Una, pagre-review at pagsasapanahon ng kurikulum ng K-12. Ikalawa, pagpapaunlad ng kapaligirang pampagkatuto. Ikatlo, paglinang ng mga bagong kasanayan sa mga guro. At ang ikaapat, ang pakikipag-ugnay sa mga stakeholder para sa suporta at kolaborasyon. Sa pamamagitan ng virtual learning platform, ang DepEd Teaches ang magsisilbing bukas na komunidad ng pagsasanay na titipon sa mga guro, tagapamunong pang-edukasyon at sa sinumang may pagnanais sa pagtataguyod ng kalidad na edukasyon sa bansa at sa pagtagumpay ng bawat Pilipinong mag-aaral. Ang mga opisyal, education specialist, learning content expert at outstanding teacher ng DepEd ang magiging tagapanayam na magbabahagi ng kanilang kaalaman at kasanayan sa kurikulum, pagtuturo at pagkatuto, pagtataya at lahat ng kaugnay na mahalaga sa proseso ng pagtuturo at pagkatuto sa new normal. Bilang mga frontliner ng classroom, inaasahang magiging aktibo ang mga guro sa programang ito. Ang mga tema at paksa ay angkop sa kanilang pangangailangan at konteksto sa pamamagitan ng accessible na platform, ang social media. Sumali na sa OUCI family sa DepEd Teaches, kung sama-sama mapahuhusay pa ang mga guro, kung sama-sama higit na malilinang natin ang mga mag-aaral.
Being challenged in life is inevitable. Being defeated is optional. And today, a new challenge awaits us here on DepEd Teaches. Good afternoon and shout out to all our enthusiastic and lively audience on our official social media accounts such as the DepEd Philippines, DepEd Tayo Facebook pages, and the DepEd YouTube channel. This may sound cliche, but we will never get tired of sending you good vibes and expressing our sincerest appreciation for the solid support that you have shown us since we started last December. Hello, Ma'am Ana. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon, Sir July. And I just want to add from what you said that every learning opportunity here on DepEd Teaches keeps getting better because everything we talk about here is what you perfectly need and relevant to your context, dear teachers. And so as we open a new theme, we welcome and invite everyone to join us here in episodes 23 and 24 for our discussion will revolve on teachers' personal growth and professional development.
Sounds exciting, Ma'am Ana. And as I think about our new theme, I remember what I read before, that the most valuable resource that all teachers have is each other. Because without collaboration, our growth is limited by our own perspectives. That's why this is such a wonderful experience that we meet every Thursday here on DepEd Teaches. Though we are learning at the comfort of our home or in the school, I am sure that we make connection to each other when we participate in the comment section, when we reflect on our teaching practice, when we answer the evaluation, and when you listen attentively to our speakers and share your learning with our colleagues.
That's right, Sir July. Therefore, for those of you who have not yet followed and liked our official Facebook page, DepEd Teaches, please visit our page right after this episode. You know, as you said, collaboration also means sharing, and sharing is caring. So if you know teachers or you have friends who haven't joined us here on DepEd Teaches, do them a small favor. Share our page. You know, Sir July, I remember the success of some big companies like eBay. Everything started from the word of mouth. So I guess same strategy can be applied here when we promote and share DepEd Teaches to others. For example, during your faculty meeting, have the confidence to share your learnings here with your colleagues. So the bottom line, again, we are encouraging everyone to follow, like, and share our official Facebook page, DepEd Teaches, because this is the first step of collaboration, where we become part and form a community of lifelong learners.
Speaking of collaboration, Ma'am Ana, this also happens in the Department of Education at the different level of governance. One good example of which is the professional learning community or the learning action cell among our teachers who convene and discuss the best practices and talk about their challenges and find solution together. And I know you will agree with me that there is a lot of benefits from this kind of engagement. And we will learn more about this kind of collaboration in today's presentation. Sounds exciting, Ma'am Ana?
Absolutely. Collaboration makes every institution stronger, makes every system more resilient. Just like when we see our learners, like our own children, helping each other, it brings so much joy and satisfaction to us. So just imagine if we practice the same value at workplace, it's a rewarding experience to work in teams. But before we dive deep into this topic, let's have our warm-up activity. So in this episode, we will play a rebus. This is also known as picture riddles. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this. So we use some images. We're going to show you some images or words, and then you have to guess to convey a meaningful phrase or message. So the answers should be related to collaboration. Now, to help you solve with this picture riddles or rebus, make sure to look at the word placement, the size, color, and quantity. So this can be quite tricky, but I'm confident that you can figure out the answer. So again, the tip is that all the answers are related to collaboration. So we will show you 4 rebus puzzles and try to guess by writing your answers in the comment section. I hope everyone is ready and will join us in this mini challenge. So let's begin. Let us show now the first question. Okay, so try to guess what does this picture riddle all about. You have 30 seconds to write your answer in the comment section now. All right, so I saw some answers from our comment section. Okay, so you're able to figure out the right answer. So let's reveal the answer. So it's a round table. You know, when we do PLC or when we talk about collaboration, one typical structure it is done in a round table. It signifies that each member is equal. Remember the legend of King Arthur, the King Arthur's round table. So working towards that common goal and everyone has the right to speak up his mind. So that's a round table, which is somewhat related or it reminds us about collaboration.
Okay, that was a tricky puzzle, Ma'am Ana. Now, for our second rebus puzzle, here is now the picture for our audience and viewers to guess about. Okay, let us show them now on the screen. All right, so this is now our second puzzle. So I invite our viewers to key in now in the comment section of your guesses or your answers. Okay, so let us reveal now the answer for this puzzle. So the answer here is I understand. And I think this is a lot easier as compared to the previous one. Okay, so we know understanding or the ultimate goal of every collaborative task is understanding. We help each other to understand the problem, new concept, the challenge, or whatever issue or situation that the group we are dealing with. Then when we collaborate, it promotes better understanding. Ma'am Anna, can we have now the third question? I think you are muted, ma'am.
Okay, so for the third question, let's show them now. So for this one, you just have to study the arrangement of the words. Okay, so I saw some of our viewers, they're able to guess the correct answer. So let's reveal the answer for this puzzle riddle. Okay, so the answer is deep in thought. So through collaboration, it helps us to reflect on our thinking, our biases and assumptions, and our strategies. Because when we listen to others and when we learn from them, from our peers, we try to connect what they are telling us as we examine our own experiences. So there's somewhat, let's say, deep in thought, deep in learning, or deep learning that can transpire in a collaborative engagement.
Yeah, I certainly agree to that, Ma'am Anna, regarding having a deep thought within collaboration is very much important. Okay, so let's now move on to our last rebus or picture puzzle. So let us now show them on the screen. All right, so perhaps we can now show them the answer. So from the picture, it is just a big letter C in a picture frame. But the correct answer is see the big picture. So teachers, when we collaborate with our peers, we think and we exchange ideas, we untangle problems, and we see the big picture. We decide what is essential, what should be prioritized, and what's the main issue that must be resolved. All right, so I hope that was a good mental exercise for all those four puzzles, four pictures, puzzles that we have shown you. So just to have a recap, we showed you a round table, just like any members is equal and gets the chance to speak. We also expect that there is understanding, people are deeply absorbed in thought, and we see the big picture when we do collaboration. And to learn more about how collaboration happens among us, to our dear educators and teachers, let us now meet our resource person.
So to talk about strengthening school learning action cells and teachers' professional development in the new normal, let me introduce to you our speaker. Director Nicolas Capulong, or RD Nick as he is fondly called, is an exemplar of a noble teacher whose love for great education has consistently evolved and escalated through the years. His perseverance, steadfastness, and strong sense of public service was marked in the solid course of his career from when he was a public secondary school teacher one from 1986, an education program supervisor way back in 1997. Then later on, he became an assistant schools division superintendent from 2007, then a schools division superintendent from 2015, an assistant regional director from 2018, and a regional director since 2020. It was November 2020 when DepEd MIMAROPA region welcomed him with loving arms as an OIC regional director and later on as a full-fledged director 4. His strong advocacy for organizational leadership and systematic management of work operations, coupled with his great desire to deliver the best services to his clientele, has made him the first ever assistant regional director of an ISO region, then DepEd Region 3 in 2016.
His incredible foresight and keen assessment of the DepEd programs and projects made him an astounding source of relevant insights on vast areas of knowledge such as curriculum and instruction, educational leadership, quality management system, alternative learning system, human resource and organizational development, research management, and many more, wherein he underwent different trainings and conferences here and abroad. A native of Angeles City, Pampanga, and a true blue Angeleño, and a devoted music teacher, RD Nick enjoys playing electric organ and piano in his spare time or during his devoted service to church activities. Ladies and gentlemen, the Regional Director of DepEd 4B MIMAROPA Region, let us all welcome Director Nicolas T. Capulong.
cannot give what we do not have, as the famous adage says. Teachers make learning of school-age children more exciting, more relevant, more engaging, and more responsive when they share to their learners new information, new developments, new insights that would further enhance the development of each learner. There are so many and different ways to grow professionally, to improve our KSA or our knowledge, skills, and attitude. There are seminars, trainings, conferences, fora, and even attending graduate education. But not everybody could go to graduate school, and usually, limited number of participants could attend training programs. Thus, all schools are encouraged to institutionalize and make learning action cell sessions as a part of regular program for their staff development plan. We are fortunate that our department, the Department of Education, recognizes the quality of learning is greatly influenced by the quality of teaching. DepEd institutionalizes learning action cells that aim to develop and support successful teachers by nurturing their knowledge, attitude, and competencies in terms of curriculum, instruction, and assessment in their work station. To make learning action cell sessions more beneficial to teachers, there's a need to identify the professional challenges faced by our teachers. Any professional development at that I would like to believe could become more effective when the needs of our teachers are taken into account. Thus, there is a need to conduct training needs assessment. What is this training assessment? This will help us identify the things that you would like to know, the things that you would like to be tutored with, the things that you would like to become a part of your learning. In order to make our learning successful, it is said that teachers could engage in collaborative learning session to solve shared challenges encountered in the schools facilitated by your principals or a designated LAC leader. It is a process of gathering and interpreting data for identifying learning areas for personal and organizational performance improvement. How do we, therefore, determine your training needs? Or how would you assess your own selves as regards to your training needs? First, you have to examine your present situation. What do you know? What you do not know? What would you like to know? And especially, what would you like to share to your fellow teachers? Next is, you have to identify the existing training materials in your schools, which you can make use of as your reference materials, such as professional articles in education, researches, books, and many others like reading materials if you have in your schools. After identifying the available materials in your community or in your school, it is also important to identify things that you can or cannot avail of. It is very important for me to understand and accept our limitations when we embark to learning, the things that we cannot have, the things we cannot afford to finance, so that we have our choices in determining the best ways to advance ourselves professionally. After analyzing all those things, then you have to make our own options. Will I go to graduate school? Will I attend conferences? Will I attend or read professional books and articles? You have so many options as regards professional development. After looking into the possible options, then you have to choose the best solution. It must be practical, it must be beneficial, and it should not be too costly on your part. After determining your needs, then we have to design your training program. Usually, your school heads, your principals will help you in coming out with this training matrix. It is a layout or a framework of the main features of your training program that you would like to implement for your advancement in your career path. And these are some of the suggested methods of training. That depends upon the training objectives. If your training objective is to acquire knowledge, then the most effective method of learning through Learning Action Cell is the conference method. Sharing of insights, sharing of ideas. But if we want to improve ourselves as regards our values, as regards our attitude, then the most effective way would be sensitivity training. That is understanding ourselves, or self-mastery, and understanding others. But if you want to enhance your problem-solving skills, case study, case analysis, and caselets are the most appropriate methods of teaching, of learning. If you want to improve your interpersonal skills, how you relate with other people, then you can try role-playing. And I think you will be enjoying this one. If you want to have more and a deep understanding of other people, of your co-workers, the teaching, the non-teaching staff, even parents, students, even your community leaders, then you have to have case study as your method of training. If you want to retain information, if you want to know more about certain things, then you can have program instruction. The next question is, after determining the best and effective method of training, is who will attend? How many will attend the sessions? This perhaps will help you in determining the number of people who will attend your Learning Action Cell session. We call it the structure. The structure refers to the grouping of people who will be involved in the training. The first is intrapersonal. It is within ourselves. It is by ourselves. And one example is meditation. What does it mean? Perhaps after reading an article, a professional book, or watching a movie or a video clip, you pause for a while and you reflect. And you assess yourselves as to the implications of what you have read, of what you have seen or heard. Like, for example, a beautiful music. If we could relate to these materials, then that will be an opportune time to reflect, to change, to adapt, to modify ourselves. And that is professional development. Another way of attending LAC sessions would be interpersonal. It may be between you and a master teacher, you and your head teacher, or your fellow teacher belonging to the same grade level or year level, or by subject area. There will be only two people who will be engaged in this type of learning action cell session structure. But sometimes there are other people who would like to join the session. Then, small group discussion is the most viable structure, which is composed of 3 to 5 people sharing their experiences, sharing their ideas, even their problems sometimes in dealing with their students. But sometimes we have to have more groups because there are more people who are interested in the topics at hand during the LAC sessions. Then we call for intergroup learning action cell structure. It is a training between 2 groups of individuals. And the most common one is the whole group or the plenary session, that's what we call. It is a group work as a whole, whether structure, practicing, discussing, processing, or sharing. So after determining the appropriate structure, the appropriate method on how to conduct your learning action cell session, it is likewise also important to understand possible topics for your learning action cell sessions. I think we have to prioritize this. Understanding our learners, learner diversity, and student inclusion. And I know many of us have experienced sometimes, and perhaps most of the time, especially during the face-to-face interaction, students who are very difficult to deal with. However, learning should not stop there. As teachers, we should learn more about our students by understanding their culture, by understanding their socioeconomic background, and understanding the psychology of the learners. Because there is a big difference between the learners in the elementary education and in the secondary level of education, especially junior and senior high school students. How do you deal with them? Thus, it is very important to have a clear understanding of our learners, how to deal with our diverse learners. Another possible topic for your learning action cell session would be, and this is very timely, our K-12 basic education program. You could discuss the macro skills, the micro skills which have to be developed our learners, and what are the challenges that you face in developing these skills among your learners. You can also discuss content of each subject area, how to teach reading, how to teach problem solving in mathematics, how to deal with scientific problems in science, and even issues in araling panlipunan. Another possible topic for your learning action cell would be, and this is very timely, assessment of learning. What tools to be used in monitoring, in evaluating, and in analyzing the performance of our students, especially with the new normal that we are into now, that we provide alternative delivery modes of learning. We used to conduct our evaluation of learning through paper and pencil method. But to me, this is no longer the most appropriate tool for evaluation. Thus, we can discuss further what appropriate tools that you could develop and use to assess the learning of your students under alternative delivery modes? What will be the best tools to assess learning on online learning? Students using TBI, students under RBI, and SLMs. Perhaps you could talk about performance evaluation sheets, observation charts, rubrics for performance evaluation to have a holistic, objective, reliable, and valid assessment of our learners. This is also a very timely topic. 21st century skills and the ICT integration in instruction and assessment. How can you use technology to facilitate learning? How do you harvest materials from website and share the same to your students? How can we use our computers to facilitate the evaluation of our students? And how could we develop the 21st century skills of our learners? You could also discuss about curriculum. How you can make it more relevant, responsive to our learners by considering also their needs. By looking into the background of learners, by looking into the availability of materials in the locality or community, you can make use of local events, experiences, which could be used as a springboard for discussion. And that is contextualization, localization, and indigenization of our curriculum. You could also discuss something about instructional delivery setting. That is determining the best way, as I have said a while ago, to ensure learning among our student. Is it through SLMs? Is it through RBI, TBI, online learning? Shall we adopt flexible learning or blended learning? That depends on the ability of our learners, on the ability of our teachers, and of course, the available resources. You can also discuss about community linkages, how you could forge partnership with our stakeholders to solicit support for our schools, programs, projects, and activities, and of course, your classroom activities, for and to advance the cause of education, especially the development of each learner. To end, I would like to believe successful teachers possess a good grasp of content. You must have a mastery of the content of each subject area. Perhaps not only the content, but you should be skillful in the use of different methods, strategies, and approaches to ensure learning. And most importantly, the right attitude in dealing with our students. Successful teachers are able to select and implement the most effective instructional strategies and materials to teach the identified content objectives. Successful teachers make instructional decisions on the basis of formative assessment results. Successful teachers promote sincerely their students' learning and holistic development. And lastly, but the most important one for me, successful teachers are professional and ethical in the conduct of their work. My dear teachers, there is a need to heed the call of our learners, and that is to help them to have a brighter future. And we can only help them to have a brighter future by improving ourselves, by improving the way we teach, by improving the way we deal with them and by improving our own values as teachers. Thank you so much for listening. Have a blessed day to all of you.
Thank you so much, Director Nicolas Capulong. That was a good reminder on the importance of Learning Action Cell and its strategic role in promoting collaboration and providing direct support to our teachers. And to our viewers, just keep on sharing your insights here in DepEd Teaches comment section. And more so, you can post as well your learning in your social media accounts like your personal Facebook page and Twitter account. Just don't forget to use the hashtag I support DepEd Teaches, and hashtag DepEd Teaches episode 23.
All right, so a few reminders. So this is the first entry under the theme Teachers' Personal Growth and Professional Development. We only have 2 episodes for this theme, so don't forget to register. You see the link on the screen, and next week we will already have our evaluation. So if you need a recap, just visit our official Facebook page, DepEd Teaches. Once again, teachers, thank you so much, and we hope to see you again next week.
On behalf of the curriculum and instruction strand, let's move forward together. For it is once said that the great discoveries and improvement involve the cooperation of many minds. And just like what we promote here in DepEd Teaches, our mission is empowering teachers, enabling learners. A blessed afternoon, everyone.